Welcome to another episode of Our Money. Today, we'll explore the fascinating history of the $500 national bank notes. The National Banking Acts of 1863 and 1864, as measures to increase use of the government's paper money, initiated the issuance of national bank notes. These acts permitted the chartering of banks, which then had the authority to release their own notes. In this system, banks deposited bonds with the Treasury. In exchange, they could circulate notes worth up to 90% of the bond's value. This era, known as the First Charter Period, spanned from February 25, 1863, to July 11, 1882. Notably, because banks had a 20-year charter, if a bank was chartered in 1882, its first charter notes could be issued until 1902. The $500 national bank notes made their debut in the original series, which was in circulation from 1863 to 1875, in denominations ranging from $1 to $1,000. The note's top border announced it as national currency. Further reassurance came from the inscription below, which read, "This note is secured by bonds of the United States deposited with the Treasurer at Washington." The issuing bank's name and the note's promise were centered on the note. For instance, the Appleton National Bank of Lowell will pay $500 on demand, with the bank's state of origin, like Massachusetts, mentioned below. On the left side of the note, a vignette showcased the spirit of the Navy. To its right, the steamship Sirius graced the note as it arrived at New York Harbor in 1838. This ship holds the distinction of being the first steamship to hold a record for its Atlantic voyage, traveling from Cork, Ireland, to New York in a remarkable 18 days, 4 hours, and 22 minutes. This translates to an approximate speed of 8.03 knots or about 4.1 miles per hour. For context, a traditional sailing packet typically took around 40 days to complete the same route. What added to the note's unique appearance were its serial numbers, charter numbers, and the Treasury's seal, all vividly printed in red ink. Interestingly, there were variations in these notes. Some lacked a charter number, while others had one or even two. Additionally, serial numbers could be found in either blue or red ink. The placement and significance of these numbers were also crucial. The Treasury's serial number, positioned on the upper right, represented the cumulative number of notes of that particular series and denomination released by all banks. Conversely, the bank's own serial number, located on the lower left, denoted the number of notes of that series and denomination exclusively issued by that specific bank. Each bank was also assigned a unique charter number for further identification. For instance, the Appleton National Bank was assigned the charter number 986. 4 signatures graced each note. The top 2 were engraved, those of Register Stoddard Colby and Treasurer Francis Spinner. Below, the issuing bank's cashier and president personally signed. The subsequent series of 1875 made aesthetic changes. The Treasury's seal shifted to a round, scalloped design and moved up, nudging the charter number to the left. The Series 1875 label was added to the right of the Spirit of the Navy in red ink. The reverse designs for both series were identical. On the top, the obligation read, "This note is receivable at par in all parts of the United States, in payment of all taxes and excises and all other dues to the United States except duties on imports, and also for all salaries and other debts and demands owing by the United States to individuals, corporations, and associations within the United States, except interest on public debt." The warning to counterfeiters, located on the bottom, read, "Counterfeiting or altering this note, or passing any counterfeit or alteration of it, or having in possession any false or counterfeit plate or impression of it, or any paper made in imitation of the paper on which it is printed, is felony, and is punishable by $1,000 fine or 15 years imprisonment at hard labor or both." The reverse's centerpiece was a vignette titled "The Surrender of General John Burgoyne," marking the historic event on October 17, 1777, when General Burgoyne surrendered to General Horatio Gates at Saratoga during the American Revolutionary War. Engraved by Frederick Gersh from John Trumbull's painting, this event marked the British Army's first ever surrender. Flanking the vignette, an eagle with a shield bearing the letters U.S. appeared on the right, and the issuing bank's state seal was on the left. The number 500 graced the top corners, while Roman numeral Ds, representing 500, were on the bottom corners. Today, only 2 original series and 1 series of 1875 examples are known. Yet, intriguingly, government records show 173 notes remain unaccounted for. We trust you found this glimpse into the unique $500 national banknote as captivating as we did. Until next time, stay curious.